Hola, hola a toda la gente de Bogotá, de Medellín y de toda Colombia. Estamos acá transmitiendo en estos momentos junto a Ted Aguilar de la banda Dead Angel y se encuentra Francisco también desde la ciudad de Medellín. Ted, hello, how are you?
¿Cómo estás?
Good Spanish.
Yeah, okay, it's all right. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How about you guys? How are you doing?
I'm fine. Francisco, si quieres puedes iniciar con la primera pregunta.
Okay, Ted, we're going to do the dynamic of asking the questions in English and Spanish at the same
Sure.
time. So
Okay.
we'll translate, we'll be more organic. Just
Okay.
to begin, Ted, what was your experience music-wise in the 80s and 90s before joining Dead Angel?
Wow, good question there. I played in a lot of local bands. Me and Will, our drummer, actually I joined his band in 19, I think 87 or 88. So we did a lot of, we were part of the third wave of the thrash metal. Of course, the first wave of like Exodus and Metallica and all that. Then there's the second wave of Death Angel, Forbidden Violence, and we were part of the third wave with a lot of local bands, the local bands that played with the second wave band. So I did a lot of that. And in the 90s, we did some stuff. It wasn't until like 1995 until 1990 and 1995 and 1999, I took a break from music. I wasn't playing at all. I just got a regular job like everyone else. And played in, I got back into it, played in a band called Sift around the Bay Area with some bands. And was it in 2001? I got the call from Rob Cavastani. Hey, you want to do this Thrash of the Titans? Death Angels reforming for one show. You want to play with us? Because Gus Peppa, their original guitar player, was living at the Philippines at the time, and he wasn't playing music. So I did that show with them, and wow, 23 years later, here I am.
That's a long history coming. Le
Yeah.
preguntábamos entonces a Ted cómo fue su experiencia en los 80s y 90s antes de unirse a Dead Angel. Y nos dice pues que muy buena pregunta empezar así, que él fue parte de la oleada de la primera etapa del thrash metal de los 80s con la oleada de los 90s. En el 95 bajó un poco de la música y se salió, pero luego formaría otra banda y se unió al cartel del Thrash of the Titans, este evento que fue hecho a través de Chuck Billy Testament. Entonces él ingresó ahí a la banda como para unos shows apenas, pero se quedó permanentemente. So good, man, that you stay in the band and the band, progress from that show they're on. Juan.
Yeah, Ted, tell us about the writing experience of the art of dying.
Oh, The Art of Dying. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You know what? I remember like 95% of how that album went. It was a great experience. It was my first album with Death Angel, and I really sat back and watched how things were going. I mean, four out of the five originals back together, writing a Death Angel record, a comeback record. It was an exciting time, how it was good to see them try to be, like how can we become Death Angel again? Because when Death Angel broke up in 91, they all, you know, four of them formed the organization. Mark, moved away. He did his own thing. And they all were in different bands throughout the 10 years that Death Angel broke up. Different styles of bands, rock, acoustic, punk rock. Everyone was doing something different. So when they came back together to write The Art of Dying, it was really exciting to see them like, wow, okay, let me see how these guys are going to write a Death Angel record. I got to experience that. So it was really cool to see. And I mean, it's my first record with them. It was a great experience. And, I could keep going on and on. If you want to ask me who wrote what song and where it was written, I could tell you, but that we could be here for a long time.
Yeah.
Wow. So glad that you have all those memories so vivid. Le preguntamos
Yeah.
entonces, Juan decía cómo fue la experiencia de escribir el disco de The Art of Dying, que fue cuando Ted se unió a la banda. Y para él fue una increíble experiencia, porque pues fue la primera incursión de componer y estar con ellos, que al principio él se sentó y vio cómo era todo el proceso y era sorprendente. ver 4 de 5 miembros originales fue increíble y todos estaban en otras agrupaciones haciendo sus propias cosas, acústicas, diferentes sonidos y todo, pero ahí fue el momento donde dijeron que ya The Angel seguía a pie con todo. All right. So what's possibly then after the Art of Dying and other records, other experience, like the 2010s could be like this be the best decade for the Angel, like globally or internally?
You mean from 2010 to now?
Yes.
Yes, I think so. I mean, unfortunately, after the album Killing Season, excuse me real quick. Sorry, you got to edit that. When we did the Killing Season record, which was after Art of Dying, after that record and touring cycle, as you know, Andy and Den, the original members, left the band. That's unfortunate. So, then we got Will Carroll and Damien Sisson in the band, and it was kind of like, no, I wouldn't say we're starting from scratch or starting over. We were starting from experience. So with this lineup, we were able to tour, which we couldn't do with the other members because everyone has families, kids, wives, multiple kids, and of course mortgages and a lot of bills. So it was hard to plan tours with that. But then when we did Relentless Retribution with Will and Damien, we were touring for that record for 3 years. 3 years. And from there on, everyone's like, okay, we got to do what we got to do. There's nothing really holding us back. The only one with a child is Rob, but his kid's already like, I think 20 years old now. So he's going to be 20. So we're in a good spot right now. None of us have children, so we're able to go and tour and do what we have to do for the band. So that was the unfortunate, I mean, not fortunate, but it was just a situation with the other members where, they have families. We can't tell them to put the band first before the family.
Yes.
Family is always important, but they chose to leave, and we chose to move on. It was hard because we were those type of bands who, we want to try to keep it together as much as you can, but when you can't, we got to go our separate ways.
Absolutely, Ted, and it's sad, but the show must go on. So, le preguntamos a Ted cómo fue que si la época de pronto del 2010 hacia acá ha sido la mejor para The Angel en cuanto a reconocimientos y todo, y grabaciones y camaradería, y nos dice que probablemente sí, que desafortunadamente después de Killing Season, 2 de los miembros pues que estaban clásicos se tuvieron que salir y ellos obviamente pusieron en el primer lugar la familia, porque tuvieron hijos, mientras que los otros miembros no tenían pues todavía eso, pues no estaban con familias. Entonces fueron unos periodos pues complejos, pero sin embargo para los siguientes álbumes, el Relentless Retribution, que fue donde ya entró Will Carroll en la batería y Damian Sisson en el bajo, se unieron a la familia de The Angel. Entonces obviamente ellos dijeron que no tenían la autoridad de decirles, no, primero The Angel y luego la familia. Obviamente escogieron dar un paso al costado y así siguieron. All right. Another question, Ted. Do you think the thrash legacy has always been there first, or do you think other elements from other genres could be included in the band?
The thrash is always there. It's in our DNA. That's what we started with, and that's what we play, that's what we love. But we're when it comes to different styles of music, not only do we listen to a lot of different styles of music outside the band, but we sometimes incorporate a different, some influence. For example, I was saying this in another interview. We listen, I'll just throw out an example, like pop music. I mean, we're not going to write a pop music, but sometimes we get ideas of arrangements of how they arrange songs. So we go, oh, we like that arrangement. So we just make our thrash metal music and arrange it like that, And, Rob and Mark and all of us are big fans of, like Rob, Mark, and Will are big fans of Kiss. So, you could hear that in the vocals, Mark and Rob switch vocals or they sing together. We're big fans of that. We're big fans of course, guitar solos. And sometimes we're, sometimes you'll hear some acoustic songs, like in Act 3, you hear Room of the View or Veil of Deception. And when we release the Under Pressure EP, you'll hear Room of the View, you hear Under Pressure. We like everything, and we'll try to incorporate as much as we can, but still keep the Death Angel thrash sound.
Le preguntamos aquí a Ted que si de pronto han pensado en incursionar otros géneros o incluir muchas otras influencias en su música, además del thrash, pero él dice que thrash es el ADN de The Angel, y a pesar pues de que Mark, los otros chicos, por ejemplo, les gusta mucho Kiss, a Rob también, la música acústica y eso, como que principalmente el thrash es siempre la vertiente por la que The Angel decidirá. Les gusta la música pop y todo esto, pero no es como el camino que les gustaría seguir. Juan, otra preguntita.
Yeah. Ted, why other elements in music beside thrash do you enjoy?
Oh my God. What you mean, what other music other than thrash? Oh man. What I've been listening to lately, usually on Spotify, I just put it on the shuffle. There's a lot of bands. Like I'm a big fan of, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Adele, Bruno Mars, Ed Sheeran, I've been listening to going back listening to some Cyndi Lauper, Pat Benatar. And there's some new artists I like listening to, like George Ezra from the UK, Jerry Cinnamon. Dude, there's a lot. When I'm not playing thrash metal, I don't listen to thrash metal. I just, I mean, every now and then when on my Spotify, like Exodus will come up or Slayer, I'll listen to it. But, like if Adele comes on, I'll turn it up really loud and, pretend to sing like her when I can.
It's a great set list.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm a big fan of pop music. One of my all-time favorite artists is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I love their sound. And so I listen to a lot of non-metal.
artist?
What? Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Free Falling and all these classics, Mary's Last Dance.
Everything he does, man, it's great. I mean, the only one out of everyone in our band that listens to metal the most is Will, our drummer. I'll tell you this. He's the most heavy metal guy I know in the world.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's incredible to know.
Oh, yeah.
Le preguntamos a Ted que si había otras música que él estuviera escuchando y que de pronto pues tienen su Spotify en el playlist. Entonces hablaba mucho de, incluso Juan, de nuevas sonoridades como Bruno Mars y Ed Sheeran.
Yeah,
Y que muy
Adele,
interesante.
además,
Adele, clásicos
además,
como Cyndi Lauper, ¿no? Pat Benatar.
Pat Benatar is a different and
Yes.
other music for the thrash metal.
Absolutely. Y nos dice que Tom Petty, de Heartbreaks, es uno de los músicos más heavy metal que existieron y que es
Yeah.
la persona que más le gusta. That's so good to know, Ted. I'm an English major in languages, so I teach English and Spanish, and I try to adapt new sounds like Ed Sheeran and Bruno Mars with my students, combining them with the hard rock. So it's really cool, no? Like not to be radical with a point of view.
No, I mean, music is subjective. I mean, it shouldn't be judged. Like maybe the stuff I listen to you may not like, and the stuff you listen to I might not like. But it's all music, man. Music brings people together from all over the world, and we should accept that. We may not like what we listen to, but we could respect it, and we could find a common ground of what we like together.
Okay.
Al fin y al cabo, la música es como el terreno que nos une a todos, Juan, ¿cierto? Y Ted, okay, let me show you this. My favorite Dead Angel record is The Evil Divide. Oh my God, I love this album, man. I listen it back and forth all the time. The songs, the structures, man, the energy, the mod, Lost, Hatred, United Hate. Amazing, man. Can you tell us any anecdotes about that period of time when you recorded this record?
Oh, wow. We recorded it in Florida. Jason Kasukoff produced it. But I remember we were writing. That album came out in 2016. I could tell you a story. Let me tell you a story of what I remember. And I haven't told anybody the story, not that I know of. We were touring Europe in 2015. We were playing a show in Berlin. And before the show, at that time, me and Rob liked to go have coffee right here before the show. And we were walking to get coffee. And I remember me and Rob were talking about the record. He goes, "Oh yeah, we had some songs." And Rob was thinking, "Hey man, I want someone to come in to do a guest solo on the record, on one of the songs." And I remember telling him, "Get Andreas from Sepultura." And Andreas does a solo on Hatred United, United Hate.
That's so good, man. Really good
Yeah.
anecdote to tell.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna subtitle that one because it's very good to have it all.
Yeah. So
Or
Rob got a hold of Andreas. Andreas goes, "Yeah, I'll do a solo." And boom, he did a solo. And I'm like, "Yeah," I go, because Andreas and Rob, this could be a different interview, but Andreas and Rob, they're both the main songwriters of their bands, and they both walk similar paths in music, and they're both influenced by the same artists. So it was the perfect person to come and do a solo on the Death Angel record.
Yeah, sí, nos está hablando, aguanta subtitularla después, Juan. Una historia de cuando estaban en Berlín, en Europa, en esa época de la grabación de este disco, de The Evil Divide, y fueron por café, hablaron pues con Andreas Kisser y él hizo un solo para este álbum, así. Es muy genial porque él admira mucho, obviamente, a Andreas Kisser de Sepultura. Vamos entonces con otra pregunta.
Yeah. Ted, COVID was road with your drummer Will Carroll back in the pandemic.
Excuse me?
Okay. Yeah. Ted, COVID was road with your drummer Will Carroll back in the pandemic. How did you deal with that?
Could you say that again? I didn't. What, when he went into the hospital? Is that
Yeah,
what
no, the coronavirus.
The
when you guys,
coronavirus, the virus.
Oh,
it
when
was,
he,
and drummer Will Carroll, we almost lose him.
yeah, that that was for everyone. Well, one, I remember we came home from Europe with Testament and Exodus. Everyone got sick. And a few days later, Will went into the hospital and he went into an induced coma. And we were all worried for him. I mean, his whole family was worried. The whole band was worried. But I'm speaking for myself. I've known the guy since I was 15 years old. He's like one of my best friends in the whole world. So yeah, it was scary. It was scary. He got out of it, and I'm just glad he did. We're all glad he did, and he hasn't. I don't know. I just get emotional because we didn't know if he was gonna make it or not, but he did, and I'm glad he did, and he's here with us, and to end it on a good note, we're gonna come to fucking Colombia, and we're gonna rock the place. We're gonna rock the place in Colombia,
Yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting. We were following the situation. Le preguntamos que cómo fue lo del coronavirus cuando les dio en la gira que tenían con Exodus y Testament en Europa y que sobre todo al baterista Will Carroll le dio muy duro y casi lo pierden. Fueron momentos muy emotivos, muy difíciles. Todos llegaron enfermos de esa gira, pero a él fue el que más duro le dio. Afortunadamente, pues sobrevivió y siguió en la banda y ellos son amigos desde los 15 años, nos contaba. Entonces, una situación bastante. All right. Let's try to wrap it up with a couple of final questions.
Sure.
How is it to be nominated for a Grammy? We know we talk bad about the Grammys. They don't know many things about the metal categories. Always controversial. But being nominated for a Grammy is actually a great experience, isn't it?
It is a great experience. Say what you will about the Grammys. I get it. I understand why people don't like it or they say something about it because metal is not represented. But when we got the call that we were nominated, oh my God, we were sad because we grew up watching the Grammy. I remember Metallica lost to Jethro Tull. That's how far we go back. Even before that, just we didn't win. We lost Tool, which is I expected that, but just to be not and to be recognized for the music that we played, that's good enough for us.
That's what we tell the people, man, because even if you agree or not, it's validation, no? Then
Yeah, it did. Like, wow, dude, like Humanicide, really? We were going up against all these guys. We're like, out of all the metal bands in the world, we were one of the lucky five to get nominated. We're like, we'll take it, man. We'll take it. You know, that's
we'll take
awesome.
it.
We'll take it. You know, I don't care what you say. I mean, I understand why people don't like it. That's their opinion. But me, I'm happy. We're happy. We're all of us. We went. We were excited. We got nominated. We got to meet some people. Just hey, man, that's just an achievement in itself. Just being nominated.
Sí, nos dice que igual la gente piense lo que piense. Es genial estar nominado, es muy emocionante. Obviamente todo el mundo ve los Grammys o está al menos en el gremio, se da cuenta de lo que pasa desde que Metallica perdió con Jethro Tull en la primera nominación al metal. Se volvió famosa esa categoría, pero no se pueden decir mentiras. Es muy chévere ser reconocidos y ellos lo aceptan y lo entienden. Y entonces es muy feliz la situación. And it's amazing that the Angel was there. Because, you know, the Grammys, of course, are going to go toward newer bands like Mastodon, like Spirit Box, you know, more metalcore or whatever. So I was really glad that the Angel was there.
Thank you. Thank you. We're glad. And everyone, you know, all of our peers like Testament and Exodus and everyone were rooting for us. But, you know, like I said, it's to get recognized outside of the thrash metal genre is like, okay, man, right on. Thank you.
Yeah. And the last question, Ted, for this interview. What best aspect of your most recent album, Humanicide?
What do they expect? What's the question again?
Best aspect of your most recent album.
The best song or the best what is
Best
it?
aspects, best anecdotes.
Best
that you might say.
anecdotes.
Wow. It's wow. I love that record. You know. One of the highlights for me on that record, not only the good songwriting is, you know, I finally contributed one song on that record. You know, my first song I wrote for Death Angel happens to be on that record. So that was an achievement for me. Other than that, just the song itself, you know, it's I would say it's probably we ended the Wolfie trilogy. It's the third album with the Wolf. And I think it's the last album we did with Jason Sukoff because we did 4 albums with Jason in Florida. I think, you know, that kind of closed out that chapter. So this new record, we're going into it in the unknown. We don't know where we're going to record. We don't know who's going to produce it. We don't know what the songs sound like already. We have songs written, but there's no vocals. You know, when you write a song, things are always changing. So it's very new territory for us. So Humanicide is the last, to me, the last of the Wolf records or that era. Now we're in a new era of like, okay, what's next? What's next for Death Angel? We don't know.
Oh yeah. This is a
Sí, dale,
beautiful
dale.
album. This is a beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. We're
It's
proud of
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
él nos dice que le encanta el disco, el songwriting, la escritura. De hecho, él estuvo ahí contribuyendo y hay unas canciones donde el productor Jason Sueco estuvo más comprometido y también fueron un poco de un territorio un poco más desconocido, un poco indagando, ¿no? Como que otros territorios. I remember Humanicide, Define the Factor, Aggressor, you know, the order of the album, something that actually makes you listening from beginning to end.
Thank you. Thank you. We you know what? We strive. We have a lot of what's that word? We have a lot of pride in not only the songwriting and making sure it's right, but the sequence, you know, from start to finish. That's really hard, you know, to put the songs one after the other. And you know, we pride ourselves in, you know, putting in a lot of work, not only in the songwriting, the recording, the sequencing, even the artwork, you know. So I think we did an okay job.
Lograr una secuencia tan genial como las de las canciones del disco fue algo bien desafiante. I got it here, Ted. I love the physical albums. So yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
And
Thank
then
you.
your credits, alive and screaming, man.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you for your words, Ted, again, for this interview. Juan
Thank you.
Pablo, muchas gracias.
We're gonna see you
No.
in Bogotá, right? You're gonna be there.
Yeah, man. See you
Yeah,
on the
man.
road.
See
And
you.
I'm gonna try to travel to Ecuador for the festival, the Metal Fest, so we can hang out.
Yeah, we'll hang out and we'll sign your CD.
Of course.
All right,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Ted.
All right, man. Thank you
We-
guys. I'll see you in Colombia and we'll have some good coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
Right on.
Good coffee or good beer?
Both.
For me, coffee. For me,
Okay.
coffee. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Ted. Bye-bye.
Bye.